Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I want to break down to why I'm not FOMOing in and buying the dip currently on HEX. I want to give you a little bit of an extra technical breakdown of the charts and show you where I really want to go all in onto HEX. Okay, so if you haven't watched last video, check it out where we talked about HEX briefly there. But today we're going to break it down with a little bit more detail and show you the definitive spots you want to be entering and pulling the trigger on this, right? So let's make sure there's no cloudy area here. Let's make sure we all know exactly what we're doing here and break this down transparently, just like I always do. So, it's funny because we hit this bottom of 20 cents, 19 cents. We bounce up 20%, and I'm starting to get comments like, and you missed the dip because you're a genius and decided to wait. Or 0.19 is the bottom in my opinion. Or HEX is actually recovering today. Nobody can time the market by pinning the bottom and the top. Anybody that can do that over and over again would be the richest man in the world. And so you just start getting some of these comments. And I mean, here's the most important one, I think is, and you missed the dip. Keyword missed, right? And so what you have to understand is it's not about missing out. When you have deployable capital, you have to value it, you have to cherish it, because deployable capital deployed at the right time is a powerful thing. That's where you get gains way greater than anybody else right? While everyone's making a 5x, if you can deploy your capital at the exact right time, you could be making 10x. You know what I mean? And that's a power in itself, because you could have the same trade, right? You could have the same asset, but a better entry point can literally double your gains in relation to someone else who's in the exact same asset as you. And so that's why, to me, it's not about missing out. Okay, if I miss out and HEX just goes on a tear, awesome. I hope everyone has a shitload of gains on it without me, and have fun. Wish you the best, you know what I mean? But for me, you got to understand there's 365 days in a year, and there are going to be a bunch of phenomenal opportunities throughout the year. And so for you to act like this is the only opportunity of the year, I mean, it's just not reasonable. You know what I mean? If you miss this opportunity, if this doesn't end up being a perfect opportunity, guess what? There will be a perfect opportunity down the line, whether that's in 2 weeks from now or in 4 weeks from now. I guarantee you some phenomenal opportunity is going to pop up. And you know what the key is to have deployable capital and deploy it at the exact right moment. And I know a lot of you will say, well, you can't deploy capital at the exact right time every time, and that's so true. You can't time the market exactly, just pinpoint on the dot every single time, but you can do it when those perfect opportunities come around. And the key is waiting for those perfect opportunities to come around, right? There are trades, there are entry points, there are times where you just know, boom, that's the perfect trade. And how many times have you just seen the most perfect opportunity right there in front of you and you didn't have deployable capital? You just didn't have the money to get in, or maybe you're illiquid, you know what I mean? So that's the key, guys. If you want to have outsized returns, if you want to just get way bigger gains than you're getting right now, that's the key, is always be liquid enough and always have deployable capital to deploy at the right time, at the exact time when the perfect opportunity arrives. And the perfect opportunity here would be a dip and break below this major support, which could trigger a panic sell-off into this territory that I really want to enter in big, because at this point you would be getting a diagonal and trending support line on the logarithmic scale, as well as a horizontal support at 10 cents. So when you get a diagonal and trending support line followed by a horizontal support line, you have two major supports, which gives you a stupidly high probability of nailing the trade and getting the absolute maximum gains out of that entry point. You see what I mean? And so this is, a lot of people, they want a dollar cost average, right? So they want to buy here, they want to buy here, 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 here. And that's fine. That's a viable strategy. My strategy is to wait for the absolute perfect opportunities and just have one entry right here. And I know a lot of people say, never put all your eggs into one basket. Never put all your, all your chips on one bet. But, you got to realize this is just one bet of many bets that we take throughout the year. This is just one bet out of, and this is only 100,000 we're putting into the specific trade. You know what I mean? So it's not like you're all in. You're all in with a given amount you've chosen to go all in with. You see what I mean? And so that's where I want to put $100,000 into HEX. is on this perfect entry with horizontal and trending support. Does that make sense? So it's not about missing out. It's about waiting and being patient for the perfect opportunities, because like I said, how many times have you FOMO'd in and you got excited, you got carried away, and you got in too early, all of a sudden it dumps on you, and now you got to sit on your bags for like 4 months, 6 months for it to recover, for you to even be break even. You know what I mean? And I like to just fucking nail it. And so that's why I'm waiting for a dip down. And look, if it doesn't dip, guess what? There will be another opportunity, whether that's on HEX or something else. And that's my mindset. And that's how I fucking nail my shit, is because I wait for the perfect time. So that being said, how else can we measure the perfect entry, right? How can we know it's the perfect entry? Because this circle that I've got drawn up here, that could be anywhere from 11 cents to 14 cents to 10 cents. I mean, how are we going to know it's the perfect entry in a HEX? Well, I'll show you. Okay, you see this HEX ETH pair right here. Okay, what this means is when HEX gets support at this green level, right, this horizontal support I've shown you, it takes off against Ether, right? It's HEX over Ether pair. So look, when HEX gets here, takes off. HEX gets here, takes off. Or at least that's what we're thinking is going to happen. So basically what that means, if you don't get what I'm trying to say, is once we tap off this support level, assuming it holds that support that we've seen it hold now twice, then this is the time where HEX is likely going to start outperforming Ethereum again. And this is when we're likely going to see the greatest returns and gains in HEX, in my opinion. So I want to wait for a perfect entry when HEX Ether pair gets right down here to this major support level. So this is what I'm looking for. A dump off through the 20-cent support level, which may never happen. I may just completely miss out, right? But once again, we're waiting for the perfect opportunity to pull the trigger. So we want to see a breakdown through this level. Boom, come down. And then on top of that, we want to see the HEX Ether pair come down right into support, hold support, and that's where you go all in, is when this lines up, right, at support, and when this breaks down through the support right there. So that's what you're looking at, and obviously the closer you can get to horizontal and trending support, the better and the higher probability you have that it's not going to go much farther against you, okay? So that's your breakdown of HEX from a technical perspective, how you're going to know when to go all in, or, I mean, when I say all in, I'm not talking like, you know, all in, but all in with, you know, the deployable capital you set aside for this given trade, okay? At least that's how I play it. So that's going to wrap it up for your HEX breakdown, and I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that makes sense, and I hope this makes you a boatload of money, given that, or assuming this case even plays out. Like I said, could I be wrong, and could we just hold support and just go higher? Yeah. But guys, Reddit is obviously the most trusted financial source ever. And so here I found a comment that says, hey, 1st and 2nd of November, we have the biggest stakes ending, with both of them having over 550 million in HEX being unlocked. You see what I mean? And so do the math here, or just think about this with me. A lot of people, what do? They'll sell their interest, right, and they'll live off of the interest. Well, if you sell the interest on this HEX right here, I mean, what's the interest going to be there? I mean, at least 30 million HEX, right? If it was I don't know how long these stakes were. If they were a year, it's probably like 80 million HEX or 50 million HEX, right? If you stake this for a month, then it's probably only like 10, 20 million HEX, right? Like a 1% interest rate, 2%, 3%, right? So, I mean, either way, if these people, whoever's got 550 million HEX being unstaked here on November 1st and 2nd, and, assuming this information is indeed factual, if they just sell the interest, that alone is going to be like 60 million HEX. 60 million HEX, right, that interest being sold on the market will easily take us down below this 20-cent level, which is exactly what we need to trigger a sell-off to a further target, right? So I think you got a lot of reasons, a lot of catalysts for HEX to drop further. But remember, that's not a time to freak out. That's a time to buy the dip, because that would be an 80% retracement back down to the 10-cent level on HEX. And historically, if you bought Ether when it was down 80%, that's probably the best decision you could have ever made in your life. If you bought Bitcoin when it crashed 80%, that was probably one of the best financial decisions you could have ever made in your life. And 2 times HEX has dipped now 80%. If you bought HEX when it dipped 80% here, that was also probably one of the best financial decisions of your life. And so what are we going to do? We're going to repeat that process, repeat that pattern. If something is good and it dips 80%, think of it as, hey, if it's something good, it's going to recover, and you're getting an 80% discount on it. So take advantage of it, right? That's not the time to panic. That's not the time to freak out. And that's how I'm looking at it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. And if you want additional alpha chart updates, NFT updates, make sure to follow me on Twitter here at Trading Crashes. And be very careful. There is a scam account trying to replicate me. That was my own account. Trading Crash. This account right here. See this guy? Fucker's got me blocked. Okay, so report this guy on Twitter because he's probably stealing people's money for all I know, and that's just not cool. So yeah, make sure not to follow the fake account. Make sure to follow the real account. It's plural at Trading Crashes because I nail multiple crashes. I'm not a one-trick pony. I didn't just do it one time. You guys have seen me do it many times. And so guys, I'll see you on the next one. Take care, and I hope this video helped you out. Bye.